The fifth column contains many and varied orders, from rose to rushtox, anacardium, hura, and manchinella, ginseng, cicuta, and onconium. And if you look at it, what is common to all those remedies, you see that now they are dealing with the udder. The masculine element is coming into play now. It has created a complete split, and this allowed the ego to see what is other than himself. Think of Rose. She wants to be liked by the other. Anacardium has an other within himself. Viscum is parasite on the other, but he hates himself for that. And conium, aetusa, rushtox, ruta, olibano, manchinella have one more thing in common: rigidity and dryness. This is a masculine aspect. When the masculine element goes sour, it becomes rigid. The masculine qualities teach the ego, when it split the feminine and masculine completely in itself, it starts to suppress the feminine element, and when the masculine qualities are by themselves, they allow the ego to see the other, but in a rigid way. The idea in the fifth column is rigidity. So this is actually the father time. There's lots of issues of law, of borders. You're here and I'm there, of hierarchy, of suppression. You can do that, but you cannot do that. It's the father time. It's the father element. It's when it goes to extreme, it goes into fanatism. What does fanatism means? Because if you take rigidity and you take religion, which comes here as well, you get fanatism. Religion is the idea of spirituality as something that you reflect on is coming here. In the first column, you could say that the religion attitude is just devotion. In the fifth column, religious attitude is scholarly. You learn. You learn about it. You think about it. You start to quantify it. The mind take over. So the idea of work, responsibility, be a man, manhood, doing, extreme, all these are becoming themes of the fifth column. Of work, element, allow the ego to turn into the world, but in a masculine attitude. So the pathology here is lots of concentrated about the extremities, about doing. It is embodied in the fifth chakra, the self-expression, because now the ego is strong. The ego says, I am here. This is why I want to work. I want to show you. This is me. But it's not about showing. It is just like, I am me through what I'm doing in this world. But when it goes sour, it becomes rigid. And we could see it in the history of this time. The history of this time starts about 250 years after the Christ, and it ends in the Middle Age. Think of this period. It is the most rigid period of the human being. The Christian churches assume a well-defined structure, and later they split into the two churches, and they became from a message of love to a message to that of order and dominance. This is actually the time of all the holy wars, the crusade, the Inquisition, the jihad. This is the time. Now you're killing in the name of God. War was all the time, but it was very simple. I want your land. If you don't give me, I kill you. This time, it is more complicated. I'm coming to kill you in the name of God. And now, after that, I'm taking your land and property and so on. But this is the idea of the fifth column. And one more thing which I had to say. Today is the International Women's Day. And the fifth column when the mind became dominant and started to suppress the feminine element within us, mind overcome emotion, the wise old women archetype that was actually the archetype that was supporting and giving life, degraded and distorted to become the witch. This is where in the wild, nature-like aspect of the feminine was suppressed in this time. And it ends with the witch burning of the late Middle Ages. This is what happened here. In the fifth column, and this is what happened in your patient in the fifth column. The feminine side is so suppressed that we could say that there is a witch hunt within ourselves after this aspect. So this is why you have this strong split in anacardium. And the rigid mind turns to superstitions and dry up, as we see in the Apiales.